I used this video on my show last Sunday. I wanted to get your opinion on it. So.
In fact, that men are evil. That is true. Like man as a whole is evil. Like just as an entity, a general idea. Men have inflicted violence and oppression on the world in ways that are irreparable. Like it's okay if we say that out loud. It's okay if we say that men are inherently evil. It's like, it's not all men, but for some reason, always a man. Every time something terrible happens, always a man, like 99% of the time. So I feel like it's a lot simpler than people may think. I don't hate my man, I hate most men. And for me, I think given what men have done to me personally, to people I love, and the world as a whole, if they all start guilty and have to work their way to innocent, it's not really a big deal to me. I feel very like convicted in that. It's very like, if you're not awful, prove it. Yeah. Quit talking about it and do it. Because the men who complain that they really hate hearing like, oh, what about all men? Oh, all men, all men. A lot of this, not a lot of action.
That's Drew Afwalo, by the way. I got a history with her, but go ahead.
Aisha, you have anything to say about that? What do you think about that?
I will laugh my ass off when she posts on social media that this dude cheats on her. I'm going to laugh my ass off.
Okay, I'll just say this. I don't hate that she said that. I just recognize someone who's been through trauma. It's just very obvious to me. Of course. Someone who's been.
Women are evil.
By the way, her trauma may be indescribably horrible for something that's to me. We don't know that she didn't grow up in a foster home and horrible things happened to her. That's what that sounds like to me. What she's saying is irrational and absurd. Whenever I hear women say this, oh, you know, if women ran all the countries in the world, there'd be no more war. Let me tell you, if women ran all the countries in the world, I'd take over one of the countries and I would just invade the rest of them and the women wouldn't stop me. The reason why the world is the way that it is and why she's correct. 90% of murder perpetrated by men is because it's often men who have to do the attacking, but it's also men who have to do the defending. And that causes them to have even more violence. And so the reason why she's lost the plot is because she only recognizes the evil men who've done evil things, like Joseph Stalin or Pol Pot or Mussolini. But she's not recognized the men who went and tried to defeat those men so that she could have a safe place to sit comfortably on that couch and say the nonsense that she's saying. She doesn't realize all the good men that were willing to sacrifice and be incredibly violent.
The men who built the podcast studio she's saying
the men who built the podcast studio that she's in, but the men who were willing to die for her freedom, she thinks they're evil too. That's the problem where she's lost. And I'm not mad at her. I just recognize someone who's been through trauma.
And this is why Trump won the election.
Sadly,
Go ahead.
Sadly, if there was not war, we would be broke.
I understand what you're saying about military-industrial complex. There's other ways to make money. I don't think besides war, but I understand what you're saying.
It
yes.
generates a lot of
it definitely
I agree with you, though. Hurt people, and she's just being mean.
Yeah.
Not every man is evil. Like, what?
It's one of the things, like, I don't hate Kanye. I just recognize the man is off his medication. Like, he's just not on his medication. I'm not saying everything he says is wrong or everything he says is right. It's just like we put him on this pedestal. When I see this woman and we're going to get, I know there's going to be guys who are super angry with her, just have a little empathy and just say, this woman is clearly going through severe levels of trauma. Now, it's going to come off misogynistic because I'm a man saying it, but I promise you, any female therapist would look at this.
You're gaslighting.
Yeah. Any female therapist would look at this and say the same thing. This is not a rational way to look at the world. And also, consider if our judicial system worked the same way. You're all guilty. This is what they do in China and Russia. You're all guilty until you prove to me that you're innocent. No, in the United States, the burden of proof is on the prosecution. And this is when you get into I had a dream my man cheated, so I broke up with him type of Chris GQ Perry nonsense. No, you need logic, reason, accountability, deduction in order to determine whether or not something happened. So,
hey, speaking of, do we have any clips from him today?
No, I don't have any. Chris.
No, we don't. Yeah. I have a history with Drew Afwalo, just so you guys know. Yeah, actually, Myron and I both have a history with her because she built her brand on TikTok, obviously, and got into I want to say even tens of millions. I'm pretty sure she's very popular still. But
isn't it crazy she can say stuff like that on TikTok?
Exactly.
And it's not even a road bump. Ladies, hold on, ladies. Who here's lost your TikTok?
This is a brand pitch.
Who here's lost your TikTok? I promise you posted any picture at all, you lost your TikTok. Correct. I've lost 1 or 2 TikTok. If you make content that bashes men, I guarantee you she's never even been suspended. I guarantee you she's never even been
8.2 million.
8.2 million followers. This is what I've been talking about before. If you don't realize what's going on, we as men, we can't afford to be offended. And when she says stuff like this, nobody stops her. TikTok doesn't want to stop her content. I have a friend of mine. She's a female influencer. She's dating a male influencer. She's the female influencer. She's got big boobs and a big old butt and has lost 7 TikTok accounts. Her male influencer boyfriend, he takes his shirt off. His audience is almost totally homosexual. He does stuff exactly as lascivious as she does. He's never lost an account. Isn't that weird? Isn't that strange that you can sit here and make content like this? I guarantee you, you want to blow up on TikTok? Make a podcast called Kill All Men. Oh, wait a second. There already is one. It's called Kill All Men. And Apple, for some reason, never took it down because there's nothing wrong with saying all men. But if I say the opposite thing, and I won't even say it because I'm going to get kicked off of YouTube, if I said the opposite thing, they would string me up like a Mexican in 1823 in South Texas. They would string me up so quick. Are you kidding me? Just a massive double standard. Go ahead.
She used to appeal to younger women, teenage girls actually, because she would like go on and find these red pill guys, me included, and Myron.
So she would react to your stuff.
React to stuff that like she would just like pick and pull like little clips that she'd go, oh, these guys don't know what an alpha male is. It was always like some kind of like stupid like middle school laugh in between all of this stuff. She's dropped that now, and now she wants to be taken seriously because you'll notice that she was very upfront about this whole thing. And when it comes to like male violence and when it comes to male nature, and they go, oh, well, that's evil, that's evil, that's evil. Are men more aggressive and more violent than women? Yes. Sorry. Deal with it. That's the way it is. Okay. Are women more nurturing and, you know, have maternal instincts and everything else? Yes, they do. Great. Fine. That's just the game we're playing, okay? It's not like, oh, well, you should change for me. You should change your biological nature for me. You should change your evolutionary nature for me. I ran into the guy who was on Dr. Phil, Imran Ahmed. He was like, oh, do you know what the number one killer of women is? Like expecting me to say that it's guys. It's actually heart disease. but you know, he wanted to say, well, it's men. I'm like, yeah, deal with it. That's just how men are, okay? Oh, they're evil. But just like he was saying, but there's also guys who are going to see those guys who are the aggressors, and that other tribe is going to go in there and try to...
And that other tribe will be exclusively men. I was just like, guys, again...
We are hairless murderers.
So if what she said was inherently true, do you understand society would break down? But it doesn't break down because there are more good, functional, utilitarian men than there are bad ones. Right. That's why society works. That's why she's wrong.
It kind of comes down to, like, I've had these discussions, and I know Andrew Wilson has had the same discussions with Tim Pool. Hopefully I don't get into this topic with him. But when it comes to rights, when women say, well, what about my rights? Like, women need to fight for their rights and everything. I was on Dr. Phil, and I said, what rights do women not have? And no one could answer it. Not one. It was like crickets in there. And like they'd never, like, I don't know about you, but in the manosphere, we say this all the time, and nobody, it's always crickets, right? But the thing is when it comes to rights, who is enforcing the rights?
I don't think anybody even knows their rights. Nobody's studying
rights. And what are they? And what are they enforcing the rights with? The potential for violence. The same thing that you say makes men very evil is also the same thing that ensures your rights.
That ensures that we don't go outside and it's not Grand Theft Auto 6 out here every day.
Right.
It's because violent men would stop those violent men from carjacking you. That's what they're supposed to do.
Well, for instance, like if I were to deny you of one of your constitutional rights, you can't speak anymore. You don't get this free speech anymore. You'd say, you, I'm going to kick your ass. Well, it's going to come to blows. Yeah. Because violence is the ultimate authority from which all other authority is derived. Okay, yeah. I know I'm quoting Heinlein. That's where your rights come from, and who are they enforced by? Not women, violent men, or men who have the potential and the capacity for violence. And in that case, you sure as want violent men.
Ladies, if your man who checks all your boxes, will you stay with him if he makes less money than you?
Yeah.
Raise your hand if yes. Before. Yes. Raise your hand. Yes. Raise your hand. No, he makes less money than you. Raise your hand. Okay, if he makes less money than you.
I feel like you can it doesn't matter how much money you make because you guys can, if you really like him and like everything that he does, you guys can both end up making money together later on. It doesn't matter if they have money at the moment.
I will say this. Okay, I actually was taught how to trade stock options and worked at a fund because a woman taught me. I'll tell you that. And I also had a woman flight instructor as well. But most of the time, most of the women that I go out with, or C, just in general in life, are not helping me make money. Just in general. They definitely know how to spend money, but then not a whole lot of them have been like, hey, man, here's how you dial in your SEO and your remote sales team. And not too many of them, okay?
I mean, like you guys could start a business together doing something. Like,
yes.
You need great energy.
Them.
if you guys understand how hard it is to run a business.
But I hate
it's so hard.
I think this running a business thing is like people don't understand what that actually entails.
So hard. If you understood, bro,
backbreaking,
I
dude.
want to give up so bad sometimes.
So the one with more time should be more dominant of the house, is what I would say.
This is by Section 8 Behavior. That's a great name. Funny how women's reaction to getting proposed to is the same reaction as someone who just won the lottery.
Yes.
Isn't that funny?
True.
It's like you won the lottery. Isn't it funny how that works? Here we go. Rational Redneck wrote, if she was dating a male feminist, I have to wonder if the girl he cheated with consented to it. That's interesting. That's a good point, because if it was a male feminist, the other guy had to consent.